What is up, guys? It is your boy Winster, and I am back at it again with another video. Today, we are going to be talking about ban list predictions for September 2023. We all know that the 10 just recently dropped, so I think it is the perfect time to be talking about what is and what is not going to be banned. And on top of that, we have an upcoming set, Age of Overlord. Definitely another great reason to drop a ban list sometime soon. So that's why we're getting this list out to you. But before we get into today's ban list, guys, please make sure you guys turn on the sub button. I know you guys see it right there, the little red one. Make sure you hit sub, guys. For those who haven't, please do so. And those who have, please consider turning on the notification bell. And if you still need another reason to turn on the sub button, all right, I'm going to make sure that this video is going to convince you to subscribe. Also, if you want to check out all my other social media platforms, Discord, Twitch, TikTok, make sure to check out the description box. Everything's going to be in the description box. So be sure to check that out. If you guys want to watch content like this live, I recorded this on Twitch. So pull up. So let's go ahead and get started on today's ban list, guys. So let's begin down, going up. We're going to go ahead and talk about semi-limited first. The first card I am going to talk about, Fenrir. Fenrir is part of very powerful Kashtira strategy. Definitely a great card, and one of the few cards in the entire Yu-Gi-Oh game where it could search a copy of itself. Usually cards that search other cards in that same archetype have restrictions where they just can't search themselves. Kashtira Fenrir doesn't have to deal with that. But on top of that, Kashtira Fenrir just is splashable in any deck. It could be played literally in anything, and it literally will just search another copy out. So it's already playing pressure on the field because it banishes cards face down when your opponent activates a monster effect, and it could target face-up cards, and it doesn't matter what it is. It could get rid of a problematic floodgate, it could get rid of a problematic boss monster, and banish that bitch face down. And then on top of that, because it's not like destroying, and the game doesn't recognize card effects when they're banished face down. If that card were to leave the field, for example, like Mirror Jade, when it's removed by your opponent's card effect, it, at the end phase, destroys everything your opponent controls. It actually wouldn't trigger because the game doesn't recognize Mirror Jade's effect being activated because it's banishing face down. So Fenrir also has some protection there, right? It does really good with removing things, and getting hit to semi-limited is not only going to hurt the Kashtira archetype, it's definitely going to slow it down a bit. With Unicorn being at 2, I think just hitting Fenrir, hitting it to 2 is definitely going to hit the consistency, and it should drop it down a few levels. The card that I think would be fine getting hit to 2 is Branded Fusion. I do not think that this card needs to be hit to 1. I definitely think that the strategy is unplayable, right? Because you only have one Branded Fusion in your entire deck to resolve or be able to activate. I don't think it would be fair to the format or to the deck because it would be just unplayable. You'll save the Ash for the Branded Fusion every time. Yes, there are some ways to recur the card and add it back to your hand. So playing it at 1 damn near makes this deck unplayable. Yes, there are other ways to get to resolve fusion effects. You have the Edge package, you have Cartesia, you have Quim, you have so many ways to be able to activate fusion effects, but I do think that Branded Fusion, how powerful it is, would be unplayable. Let's go ahead and talk about the limited list. The limited list, I try to hit as many strategies as I can, some of the best strategies in the current format. I think one card that everyone would want to get banned is EP Memory. Pearly Sleepy Memory is definitely a very powerful card. That's part of the strategy, man. It is so good. Discard one card, and if you do, special summon 1 level Pearly monster from your deck, and it's a quick play, so this card isn't even affected really by anti-spell fragrance because you'll just be able to activate it as soon you'll be able to activate it in response to any kind of anti-spell. It gives this deck so much consistency because it could summon a body and you'll be able to exceed from there. I definitely think that this card needs to go at 1. Bestial Magma. I personally don't think Lubellion is the problem here because Lubellion could search any like Bestial. But Magnemite allows you to search any dragon other than itself. So definitely hitting this card to limited is going to hurt all decks that do play this card. Also, you know, it's such a strong card, right? Like you're going to be able to use it for Eradicator Epidemic Virus Tribute. You're just going to be able to have a huge body on board. And then on top of that, you know, you're not going to be able to consistently search those other Bystials in the deck. Or if you play like D-Link, you won't be able to search any other dragon. The next card that I definitely think we need to hit is going to be Runic Tip. Like Runic Tip is just so fucking strong, man. It sums out Hugin, and you'll be able to get all your effects off. Yeah, like you don't go through your battle phase, but like you're just going to be able to consistently summon out Hugin and then get all your fountain effects. I definitely think that this card is worth it. It stops the deck. It definitely hits the consistency of it. I definitely see this card hitting to one. Sprite Starter is definitely another card that I definitely think should be hit. Now, in reality, Sprite hasn't been hit too crazy. I think it's just a very splashable engine, being able to play Runic, Live Twin, Fur Hire. There's definitely so many strategies that can play. So let's go ahead and talk about the ban list, guys. The cards that I think are far too strong. I definitely think that Gimmick Puppet, right, is definitely a card that should be banned. Branded Despia has gone through many phases since its inception. It went from, you know, summoning out Mirror Jade with 2 Masquerade and then passing turn and let your opponent burn themselves, because Mirror Jade is such a strong problem, right? And then when the other cards came out, like Artesia, Quem, the Bystial stuff, all those got splashed in. And then I think the big changer here is when Branded Expulsion became a thing. Albion the Sanctifier Dragon started to become a thing. Obviously, with the most recent ban list, we got Branded Expulsion ban that allow us to easily Gimmick Puppet lock our opponent. And that wasn't enough to stop this type of card. Now Albion's a problem being able to summon the Gimmick Puppet and summon any other monster. It allows Branded Despia to be able to play a card like this. So just banning the card outright, I definitely think is going to be the right play. We'll stop from the huge powerful effect that is Gimmick Puppet. And Gimmick Puppet in and of itself is such a strong card, man. Like, you can't negate the effect. It's an activated effect. Cards like Salesman, cards like Crossout Designator doesn't stop this card because, again, the effect does not activate. So there's no way to stop it. The only way to stop this card from really applying his effect is stop it from hitting the field. And I don't think that stuff like that should exist in Yu-Gi-Oh! And I definitely think that banning this card over Albion the Sanctifier Dragon is the right play. The next is D-Shifter. Kashtira being one of the stronger strategies is such a good one. But D-Shifter is such a strong card. If this card was only set to 1 turn, it honestly wouldn't be that bad. Yes, it'll be a very powerful floodgate. I hate playing against decks that, you know, are able to activate Shifter on their turn, do their play, set up their board, and then pass the turn to you and be literally unaffected by the card. I think decks like that are like really strong, and the perfect examples are Kashtira, Floowandereeze. But I definitely think that cards that linger for 2 turns are just way too strong. Eradicator Epidemic Virus, like we've all seen it, right? Like Labyrinth being able to play this card is absolutely insane. Eradicator Epidemic for full hand of spells, we've seen it, right? We've seen it, I think it was German Nationals. So I definitely think that banning this card is definitely the right choice. This card is too strong, gives you hand knowledge, and depending on what deck you're playing against, you're just going to be able to just tear through your opponent. And with the format the way it is, playing a lot of power spells like Triple T, Triple Tactics Thrust, Branded Fusion. Yes, you could respond with like Super Poly, but you have Super Poly, you have Change of Heart, Lightning Storm, the list goes on of all those power spells that this card will literally stop. And the same thing could be said about like trap decks, right? You have powerful cards like Skill Drain, all the Floodgate, evenly match, goes in match, right? The list could go on of all the trap cards that this card could actually stop. So I definitely think that banning this card is definitely worth it. And the last card on my list is the Calamity Lock. I mean, it goes without saying, not being able to activate cards or face-up cards effects on your turn is absolutely broken. I don't think that Crimson Dragon is going to be banned because ultimately that's what allows this play to happen. But I think this card falls into the same categories like Gimmick Puppet, right? It's the actual card that has the effects, right? So I think banning this is going to be the right step, and just making sure you could clear out any kind of, you know, jank card in the format or playable in the format. King Calamity, such a broken card, easy to pull out. You just need 2 level 12 synchros. And then on paper, that sounds like crazy, but it's not really difficult. Mandium being one of the better decks to actually pull out this card. You have Adventure Synchron being able to pull out this card. So guys, that is going to be it for the ban list predictions. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys agree with this ban list? Is there any format? Is there any decks or cards that I missed entirely on my list? Let me know in the comment section. Let me know if you agree. Let me know if I missed anything. But that is going to be it for me today. Thank you so much for pulling up today. Thank you for your support. I hope I earned that subscribe. We are getting so close to 1,000. But my name is Winster, and you guys have a good rest of your day.